Hi, everybody. I'm going to show you about emails today. So, as far as emails go, a lot of you have been sending them to me already, which is great, but I want to give you some other tips. So, there's going to be a video that's going to look like this, but I'm going to have you watch it on your own, and it tells you exactly how to send an email. I just want to go over some of the vocabulary with you. So the inbox is where you get your emails from over here. And the sent is emails that you send out to somebody. So if you have to go back and look them up, and sometimes I have to do that, you'll see that I sent all these emails to somebody because sometimes you have to go back and look them up for some reason. If there's information in there that you sent to someone and you need to look it up again, then you know that it would be in the sent file. Spam is junk mail, but sometimes it's not junk mail. You have to be careful. So I would check it every once in a while, and if it says no subject, then that's different. But sometimes I get things in my spam that are not spam emails. So if it looks familiar, it could be possible that it was sent there by mistake. Drafts. Drafts are ones that you start, but you don't finish. So let's say that you were sending an email. You hit the compose button and you sent an email and you didn't finish. And let's say there was a fire drill at school and you had to stop and you had to go do the fire drill and then come back in. Well, if you didn't send it yet, then it's going to go in what's called your draft folder. And the draft folder means that you have to go back into the draft folder and you need to send it. So you have to so here's a draft folder, but there's nothing in it. But if there was, then you would click on it and then finish and then send the email. That's what a draft email is. And okay, there's a couple more. So the compose button is the button that you hit to send an email. So if you go up here and you hit the compose button, that's what you hit to send an email. The CC means carbon copy. So if we're sending an email to, let's say we're sending it to me, and then you want to copy somebody else and like a friend or something like that. Like let's say you want to use me as a reference and you send it to me, but you copy them and then you put a subject line. You always have to put a subject line. You can say, could we use you as a reference? Let's say you and your friend talked and she was copied on there. Then when I do reply all, then that means that you would both get it. But when someone is CC'd on it, it means that they don't have to take action, that they just need to be in the loop of the email. So another example would be, let's say I send an email to Mr. Howe about a student and I copy Miss G and I copy Mrs. Wall. But I don't want them to do anything. I just want them to know what was going on with the student just so they were aware of it. It means that they don't have to do anything. They just need to be aware and not answer back. The reply is a response to someone who sent you the email. So when you reply to somebody, and I'm going to go to an email here and just check one so you could see it. If I was going to send an email back to somebody, then I hit the reply button and it would go back just to them. But if there's a bunch of people on the email, like Mr. Howe sends an email to every teacher in the school, and then I send an email to reply all of the teachers are going to get it. So it really depends on how you want that. Do you want all the teachers to see it or do you want just Mr. Howe to see it? So that is the reply all. Now forward sends an email to somebody if they weren't on the original email that was sent to you. So let's say you got information on a soccer game and when it was, and you wanted a friend to know, but they weren't on the email. What you would do is you would click on this right here and you hit the forward button and then you would send it to whoever you wanted to send the email to have the information about the soccer game. Starred. Starred means that you mark something as important. So if you have it right here and you star one of these emails, it means that it's very important and you may need to go back to it later. BCC means blind carbon copy, but it's not used much anymore. It's someone you don't want anyone copied on it to see, just the one that was sent to you. So it's kind of like being secret in a way because you're sending it and then you have a blind carbon copy. So the person, like, let's say I sent it to Mr. Howe, but I do a blind carbon copy for Miss Wall, then it means that Mr. Howe doesn't know that Miss Wall got it. It's really weird, but that's not used much anymore. And the reason I'm doing these is because I'm going to give you a quizzes, which has about 16 questions on it, and that's what I'm going to grade you on for this email lesson. But I do want to show you some other things. So number one, this is an email that I had students type for a grading class. But notice that this has proper grammar, it has proper spelling. So she has a capital I, digital literacy is the name of a class, and she has Granger as a capital G because that's the name of a school, and she has a period and then a capital letter, and she has a capital I because when I is by itself, it's always a capital I. So when students did this and sent this to me, if they had errors in it, I would reply back and say, you missed, a capital I, or you didn't answer every question that I asked, because I asked them to do feedback on digital literacy and what they liked about it and what they didn't like about it and how it would help them in the future. So I just want you to see what this looks like, but I do not want you to type this. Just make a good note and make sure you always have a subject line, because if you don't, people may think that it's a junk email and not read it. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to make sure you know what these mean. And when you click on this, you're going to get this video on how to send an email. So I strongly suggest that you watch this because it may have covered something I didn't. And then I'm going to send you something on how to put things in your calendar, in your Google Calendar, because as you get older, you tend to forget things, or it's just good when you're in college to put things in your calendar so you know when assignments are due and when you have appointments and things like that. So I think that is everything that I can think of with emails. Oh, there is one other thing. If I hit the compose button and I'm typing the email in here and you click down here, there's a spell check down here. So I would put it through spell check and I would proofread it before you send it to whoever you're going to send it to, and make sure that it's professional. Do not put slang in it. If you're sending it to someone for an interview, if it's your friend, it's different, but if you're sending it to a teacher or a guidance counselor or someone you work with, you want it to be professional. So that's it for this, and I will forward you the information in about an hour or less. And I want you to do the quizzes because that will be your grade. And you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.